Welcome back to the fifth episode of Trump Tuesday. As usual, let's get right into it. Let's start off with Super Tuesday. Unfortunately, the day I uploaded Trump Tuesday, it happened. As you all have probably heard, Joe Biden took a huge and much needed victory over his main rival Bernie Sanders. The candidates to choose from during the primaries were Bernie Sanders, Michael Bloomberg, Joe Biden, and to my surprise, Tulsi Gabbard. And I'll talk a little bit about her later. So let's run down through the states, who won, and how many delegates they got. The only people to win states were Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. Joe Biden claims his most victories over the southern states. Not surprising. Bernie Sanders, however, had many victories in different regions. The West for California and Utah, the Midwest for Colorado, and Northeast for his home state of Vermont. Although this map shows many victories for Joe Biden, the number of delegates for both candidates are still pretty close. Biden won Alabama with 63% of the votes, Arkansas with 40.5% of the votes, Maine with 34% of the votes, Massachusetts with 33.6% of the votes, Minnesota with 38.6% of the votes, North Carolina with 43% of the votes, Oklahoma with 38.7% of the votes, Tennessee with 41.7% of the votes, Texas with 34.5% of the votes, and finally, Virginia with a massive 53.2%. Now, some of these percents were very close to Sanders, such as Texas, Maine, and California. Right now, Joe Biden seems to be taking a lead against Sanders, but we never know what could happen. Okay, on March 4th, Michael Bloomberg dropped out of the race after spending about $500 million on his campaign. I mean, that's so crazy. Imagine all you could do with $500 million. You can spend that money to try and change the world, and invest in non-profit organizations that could help save thousands of starving people around the globe, and people without water and basic human needs. He could have done all of this, but instead he tried to run for president and really failed. Anyways, he endorsed Joe Biden, but it is unclear yet if he will support his campaign financially. On March 5th, Elizabeth Warren also dropped out of the race. Again, I was expecting it to happen, especially since she lost her own state of Massachusetts. By not even coming in second, she came in third. Warren has not decided yet to endorse anybody. She wants to, quote, take a little more time, and I can understand that. Her votes can be very crucial to either Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. If she decided to endorse Sanders, then he might take a lead against Biden. If she decides to endorse Biden, he will take an even larger lead in the polls, challenging Bernie to catch up. So we'll have to see on that. Okay, so about Tulsi Gabbard. Why is she still in? Honestly, I mean, there's no chance of her winning, so why stay in? I don't really have an answer for that, but it's kind of annoying. Maybe even take some delegates, which is even more annoying. Delegates that could go for both Sanders or Biden. Kamala Harris is also deciding to endorse Joe Biden. She released this video a few days ago.
So I just wanted you guys to know, because you've been supporting me for so long, and I just wanted you guys to know I have decided that I am, with great enthusiasm, going to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States. I believe in Joe. I really believe in him, and I have known him for a long time. One of the things that we need right now is we need a leader who really does care about the people and who can therefore unify the people. And I believe Joe can do that. I am supporting Joe because I believe that he is a man who has lived his life with great dignity. He is a public servant who has always worked for the best of who we are as a nation, and we need that right now. There is so much at stake in this election, guys. So join me in supporting Joe, and let's get this done.
Okay, enough of Super Tuesday and endorsements. It's Corona time. There are currently 134 confirmed cases in the United States and 11 deaths. The most deaths and cases are in Washington State with 70 cases. Next is California with 45 cases, and New York with 14 cases. All states are currently testing. Trump, as usual, is still trying to reassure the nation that everything is fine.
You have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero. We're going down, not up. We're going very substantially down, not up. I really think, Doctor, you want to treat this like you treat the flu, right? And, it's going to be fine. Looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
Trump's been trying to pretend the problem doesn't exist because he knows that he'll be blamed for it. And he knows that because if he weren't president right now, he would be blaming whoever was president. In fact, he even lied and blamed the past president for the current lack of testing.
The Obama administration made a decision on testing that turned out to be very detrimental
to what we're doing, and we undid that decision a few days ago so that the testing can take place in a much more accurate and rapid fashion.
You can't blame Obama for something that didn't exist when he left office. The White House did not offer a comment when asked to explain why the president said it was an Obama-era decision. But a source close to the coronavirus task force told CNN's Jim Acosta it's not clear where Trump got his information that an Obama administration rule had somehow slowed diagnostic testing. Another thing, listen to this Fox News phone interview with Sean Hannity and Donald Trump.
A report today, the global death rate at 3.4%, and a report that the Olympics could be delayed. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch. I think the number, personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
You can't go on national television and contradict experts based on a hunch. Employers and public health experts are urging anyone with any symptoms to stay home and self-quarantine rather than go to work and potentially spread the virus. A county in Washington officially recommended teleworking for both Amazon and Facebook and asked their Seattle employees to stay home. But again, here's Trump.
You know, we have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that get better just by, sitting around and even going to work. Some of them go to work, but they get better.
Trump is telling people that it's okay to go to work if you're sick. But hey, at least he knows the name of the virus, right?
In the category of the overall population in terms of this corona flu.
Well, I mean, there's not much you can get wrong at this point. Trump continues to lie about the coronavirus, blame others, and reassure people that everything is okay. We need truth, transparency, and testing, and we're not going to get that from Donald Trump. But then again, that's
just my hunch.
See you next week on Trump Tuesday.